Hello, Laoshi Laurince McElroy here again in the pre-recorded video series. This is going to be the first of a two-part series. I want to address some writings of Cheng Man-Ch'ing from Cheng Man-Ch'ing's Advanced Tai Chi Form Instructions with selected writings on meditation, the I Ching, medicine, and the arts. It's compiled, the book is compiled and translated by Douglas Wile. I'm very glad that this book is in the Water Tiger School Library. And as a way to introduce the first of the two essays I want to address, I'm going to do something that I did elsewhere in social media relatively recently. And that's to share an idea, something different if you're tired of singing the happy birthday song while you're washing your hands. You can also use this. You wet your hand, turn on the water, wet your hands, get your soap, and then away we go. I must not fear. Fear is the mind killer. Fear is the little death that causes total obliteration. I will face my fear. I will let fear pass over me and through me. And when fear has gone past, I will turn and see fear's path. Where fear has gone, there will be nothing. Only I will remain. And you rinse and you dry thoroughly. The first of the two essays that we're going to address is the Three Kinds of Fearlessness. The second is eliminating the three faults. So we sort of have a tri-list focus here for a couple of these little conversations. The Three Kinds of Fearlessness addressed in Cheng Man-Ch'ing's essay: do not be afraid of work, do not be afraid to take a loss, do not be afraid of intimidation. So if you know Water Tiger School, if you know Laoshi Laurince McElroy, you know that we tend to have an issue with the word work. However, you have to be willing to put the effort forth if you're going to study the art of Tai Chi. In his essay, Cheng Man-Ch'ing sort of outlines one particular aspect of our practice, something that's very important, developing a strong root. And he outlines a way to go through that process that is quite time-consuming. And it's obvious that it's time-consuming, and it takes time and patience to get through it. And he's using that as an example to the importance of perseverance in your Tai Chi practice, in your approach to your study. I want to quote his next essay, something that he wrote in Eliminating the Three Faults, that's right on point for his place of importance and perseverance. If one approaches the study of this art without perseverance, not only is it a waste of time, but one emerges empty-handed from a mountain full of treasures. And Tai Chi is indeed a mountain full of treasures. And if we are not willing to put forth the effort to invest in the practice, you are simply not going to succeed. So don't be afraid of hard work. Do not be afraid to take a loss. Fear of loss, the second of the three fears. Now, Cheng Man-Ch'ing tends to write in the essay more from the standpoint of don't be afraid to spar with people who are better than you are. Do not fight back, do not struggle, do not strike back, simply deflect, adhere, and develop your art in that way. However, he also writes, those who seek small shortcuts will take great losses. Those who invest in small losses will gain great shortcuts. And one of the ways to look at that, aside from the fact that, yes, every once in a while, more than every once in a while, but often someone will approach me and it's like, is there a quicker way to learn this? No, you have to invest the time. And also, do not be afraid to take a loss. I mean, don't be afraid to fail. You have to get it wrong to get it right. And that's what I hear more often than not in talking to people about their practice, especially in these times when, if you're in a public program, you're probably not able to work with your teacher to develop where you are. So maybe you're stepping back because, oh my God, my teacher can't see what I'm doing. I might be doing this wrong. But if you build a confidence in what it is that you're doing, even if it's wrong, one of two things are going to happen. Either we will eventually get back together and you will see your instructor and they can make the correction, or two, your confidence in doing it wrong will allow you to relax and feel that something is off, and you'll fix it yourself. So don't be afraid to get it wrong. We have to fail to succeed. And sort of going back to the sort of martial confrontation idea in Cheng Man-Ch'ing's writing, at Water Tiger School, one of her push hands exercises involves an exchange that may, it's not its purpose, end in one of the partners being taken off balance. And a number of years ago, we had a student who observed that she did not completely understand that exercise or begin to taste success in that exercise, in that particular partnership, until she was granted herself permission to fall over, granted herself permission to lose. So do not be afraid to take a loss. That's the second. The third, do not be afraid of intimidation. Now, again, Cheng Man-Ch'ing's writing tends to focus on, on confrontation, and that we must be relaxed in confrontation or combat, or we will not be able to flow with the combat and do what it is that we need to do. We will not be able to bend instead of break. And he quotes Lao Tzu, the softest in the world will overtake the hardest, which is, of course, the image of water that is so important in everything that we do in Tai Chi. You will not be able to flow with water if you are tense. So many people come to Tai Chi and they see Tai Chi, maybe just they're walking by a park and they see a group of people playing Tai Chi, or they've seen Tai Chi in the background when in the old episodes of the original Law and Order, whenever the detectives were interviewing somebody in a park, they're almost every time that was going on, there was somebody in the background, there was some small group doing Tai Chi in the background. And they just think, oh man, it's so simple, it's so flowy. And then they come to it and they're intimidated by its complexity. Do not be intimidated by Tai Chi's complexity. That intimidation, learning a new posture, it's like, oh my God, that looks so hard. I'm never going to get it. Well, as soon as you say that, you're right, you're not going to get it. But don't be intimidated by the new. Do not be intimidated by the difficulty. If you relax, you will find the pathway through that intimidation. So be like water. As we all know, the Bruce Lee quote, be like water, my friend. You pour water into a teacup, it becomes a teacup. Pour water into a glass, it becomes a glass. Pour water into a bowl, it becomes a bowl. Be soft like water, my friend. So there you go. Do not be afraid of work. Do not be afraid to take a loss. And do not be afraid of intimidation. The Three Kinds of Fearlessness, from Cheng Man-Ch'ing and Douglas Wile's book, Cheng Man-Ch'ing's Advanced Tai Chi Form Instruction. So soon, relatively soon anyway, we'll be adding sort of our perspective, my perspective on eliminating the three faults, the second of my favorite two essays from that particular book. Until then, whether you're going to use the Bene Gesserit Litany Against Fear from Frank Herbert's The Dune to wash your hands, or Happy Birthday, or Emily Dickinson's sonnet, wash your hands. Wash your hands. If you're going out, wear a mask. And let's continue to do what we're doing, staying at home alone, until the scientists and the medical professionals tell us when it's time to take the next steps. So until next time, thanks. As always, if you have observations, if you have questions, use the comment section below, and we'll see you next time. Ta.